Hi friends, here's my friend Curious George. Have you ever read any of his books? They're pretty funny. This is about Curious George, librarian for the day. A librarian is a person who works at the library who helps you pick books or helps you find books. So Curious George is going to be the librarian for the day. George goes to the library once a week. This time the librarian, Mrs. Dewey, asked George to help her. That's very kind. Mrs. Dewey gave George a cart. It held books and DVDs. George had to sort them into 2 piles. George was super fast. Then Mrs. Dewey had to leave in a hurry. Her book club needed her. She put George in charge of the library. Was that a good idea? I don't know. Let's find out. George wondered. Should he put the books away? It seemed like something a monkey in charge would do. George put the books away in record time. The librarian stuff was easy, he thought. Then the doorman came into the library. "Hi, George," said the doorman. "Can you help me find my dog Hundley's favorite book? It's yellow." George was very familiar with that color. The yellow books George found were not the right ones. There were a lot of yellow books. Finally, George found the right book. "Thanks, George," said the doorman. Finding books was hard. George was curious. Would the books be easier to find if they were sorted by colors? Good question. After George sorted the books, Chef Biscotti came in. "I can't find my cat Ganache's favorite book. Mice everywhere," he said. George just needed to know what color the book was. The chef didn't know the book's color. He did know that it was a very, very big book. George looked for the big book. There were big books in every color. At last, George found the right one. It was heavy. Look how heavy that book is. "Thanks, George," said the chef. George decided to try putting the books in order by size. Little books, medium books, big books. George had fixed the library again. He was so proud of himself. But then Stephen needed help too. "George, the books are all messed up," Steve said. "This is where all the outer space books should be." George showed how he had sorted the books by size. "I don't think that's how libraries work," said Steve. He showed George where all of the books from outer space were supposed to be. This made George even more curious. George wondered if all the outer space books go together. "Maybe books are organized by subject," said Steve. George needed to fix the library again. Before Mrs. Dewey came back, Steve helped George sort the books by subject. "It's neat as a pin in here," said Mrs. Dewey when she returned. She explained that the books are arranged by subject, then alphabetically by the author's last name. Alphabetically means the same order as the letters of the alphabet. Names start with the letter A come before letters that start with B, and names that start with Z go last. Z is the last letter of our alphabet. George had fun helping at the library, but he was happy to go home with his own favorite books. What are your favorite books? Bye, friends.